All right, I guess we're all set. Let's do this. Hello, my friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you're all doing great. I know that I am. Thanks very much for asking. So, like usual, we're going to go over to the computer and we're going to see what we did yesterday to see how we got to be where we're at today. So let's do that right now. Yesterday, what did we do? So, we started off by coloring in with some yellow our little sperms that we love so much. Then we did our little planets. We did the first coat because we actually did 2 coats of those. As we were waiting for that to dry, we highlighted and put some shading on those red circles. Then we did the green frame. We added a little bit of beige on our sperms, highlighted a little shadowing on our planets, and we finished the whole day by doing the center of our mandala. So let's go over here, and we are going to start right away. So our biggest problem is always the same, having the paint dry fast enough. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the second coat of the green on the frame. And then while that's drying, we are going to come and tackle the background of these 4 circles. And hopefully by then, the green background will be dry and we'll be able to do the shading on that. So let's get to it right away. So I am going to grab my green paint. Now we did have a little bit left over from yesterday that isn't quite dry, so that's pretty cool. We can reuse a little bit of that, just work it, but of course there'll never be enough there, so let's just add some green. I'll get my knife. And Tuesdays we're always starting a little later. We start at 10 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. because Tuesdays is the day where I get all my paperwork, my appointments, all that stuff done. So, and by the time it's 4 o'clock or 4 o'clock here in France, when I'm doing the stream, 10 a.m. in the States on the East Coast, well, I'm pretty speedy. I'm ready to tackle the painting. If I don't have much going on before, sometimes we start at 9 a.m., which I could have done today, I must say, but I did have a little bit of paperwork to do. I did send in my absentee ballot yesterday, voting in the States, so that should arrive on plenty of time. So I'm happy I got that out of the way. And I hope everybody who's watching is going to vote as well. Very crucial elections. So, I guess I can add just a little bit of border to this. Usually I do the mixing on my other camera and we do that together, but there's really nothing all that interesting. It's just water and paint, and I'm just trying to get it to the right liquid texture. And there we go. So I am going to bring over camera number 1, move it over a little bit like this, go on that upper left-hand corner where I usually start, and I'll switch cameras right now. And I'm going to tackle the second coat, basically to hide all the paintbrush marks, strokes. And I don't have to be that accurate, so this should go very quickly. The paint doesn't have to be on that thick as well. Like I said, all we want to do is just hide the strokes of the paintbrush. And at the same time, that will add a lot of what? A lot of a lot of I can't find the word. I was going to just, I should think before I talk. Anyways, let's continue here. There we go. Okay, very good. Let me just get a little bit more water here. There we go, very nice. Okay, I'll just bring this camera over a little bit here as well. Grab a little bit of water again. Get this to be nice and liquidish. There we go. I guess we can come over here. I did put the fan on behind me just so the paint would dry faster. But I have a feeling it's going to be a short stream today and a very long one tomorrow as I tackle the details of my frame. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I have an idea of what I'd like to do, but I usually or sometimes just change my mind at the last second when I walk in the studio. So I don't guarantee anything, and that's why I usually don't talk about it. Because, for example, this green frame was supposed to be black. And on these green planets were supposed to be orange. So everything changes quite quickly. So anyway, there we go. Let's get all this done. So hopefully it will dry as quickly as it goes on, because there we go. Okay. So I guess we can come back to finish this side here. I will eventually bring my chair to do the bottom part, as not to break my back. I'm not going to have enough paint, so I might as well, since I'm right here, I might as well just add a little more paint. There it is, my fearless knife. There, I'm not going to put more than that. I don't think I'll need all that much, especially since it's going to be diluted quite a bit. But I am going to wash off my knife. There we go. Oops. There. Very nice. Okay, let's put this knife back in its place. Let's get a little bit of water here. Let's work out our paint. Very good. So where are we here? We're down at the lower left-hand corner. Okay, come back to number 1. And I am going to be in the way, so I might as well just move the camera over right now. There we go. And I'll tackle this part right here. There, no need to be too fussy because, like I say, we're going to do some shading on this. I do need some more water, though. I'll just bring a little jar and put it right here. That should do the trick. Okay. All right. I was going to bring my chair, but I don't think I will after all. It seems to be going very quickly, so no need for it. There we go. And on both edges, the outer edge and the inner edge of this frame, it will be black. There'll be a black outline there, so I really don't have to be this precise. I can't help myself, though. There we go. The second coat is making the paint a lot more vivid, which is the word I was looking for earlier. I guess I wasn't quite awake yet, or warmed up. It's true, I don't speak English that often here in France. I speak English basically when I talk to my daughter, who lives in the States, but a little bit of English with my son, who lives here with me, but that's about it. So my English has a tendency to get pretty rusty. Let me just get this edge right here, which seems like it didn't cover that well. I don't know why. There we go. So, very good. Put this down. Now, what are we going to do next? I guess while we're waiting for the green to dry, I can move on to the next step, which is going to be right in here. I'm going to need some white paint for that. So, let's get some sort of a palette together. This looks pretty good. My faithful knife. And then let's just get some white paint. I'm going to put a little more because I want this to be very somewhat thick because I would like this to be opaque. I'm going to paint some sperms here that will be yellow in the end, but I want to get that first coat of white paint so that the color also, the yellow, will be more vivid when it's done. I like my colors to be nice and vibrant, electric. Oops. So in the 1990s, when I was in Paris, I painted with a group of artists called Zen Copyright. We were about 5 or 6 of us, and I found out yesterday that one of my close friends of that group passed away yesterday. So that was kind of a drag last night to get these emails. That means out of a group of 6 of us, 3 are already dead. So it was kind of a blow, I must say. I mean, I know we partied pretty hard in the 90s, and but I have no idea what he died of. If it was because of the corona. I know he wasn't in the best of health, but and I didn't really want to ask, on Facebook. I'll know eventually, but anyways, it was kind of a drag to find out. So I'm just going to work this paint out a little bit. I guess I can come over here to camera number 1, and we can do this together. It's not, I won't get the Nobel Prize like those other scientists, like Penrose, one of the guys who works on black holes. He and 2 other guys, I guess, received the Nobel Prize for science. But Penrose is in astrophysics is a giant, so I'm surprised he never got it before, to be honest with you. Very surprised, but very happy for him. So this is getting very quickly to be that nice, creamy texture that has still kind of thick, but will lay down on the canvas very nicely. So, very good. I'm going to bring the camera up again. Maybe move it just a little bit back inwards. And I am going to have to just think about this for a few seconds. So let me see here. I do have to step back. I want to make all 4 of these the same size and heading in the same direction. Okay, I think something like this. start off like this, and then we can readjust everything when the others are basically, oops, ooh, my hair tickling my nose. There we go. Let me just step back for a second. Okay, very good. So let me just kind of get a brush so I can kind of measure off. Figure out the right size here. Okay, let's say something like this then. Well, okay. It kind of screw up that one, but we'll catch up when we have to. A little later, no big deal. Figure out this one as well. Let's see, somewhere right there. Right here. Whoops. Yes, I could see a little liquid there starting to drip on my canvas. All right. And let's get to this last one right here. So again, I want to use this kind of as a guide. Okay, just step back here and check this out. Okay. Just adding like a second coat while I have the paint in my hand. The fan is drying this paint very quickly. So I'm just adding a little more white, so the whiter it is, the more the yellow that goes on top of it will be intense. So I did kind of screw up this one here, but hopefully when I put the yellow paint and the shadowing and then the black outline, I will be able to correct the whole thing. I mean, you'd never know I painted 150,000 million sperms, but what the hell. Okay, I'm not going to put the yellow paint on today anyways, so I can put this on very thick and it'll have overnight to dry. So, okay, moving right along. Let's go back up here and take a look at our frame. It's just about dry, so we can definitely put the shading on today. So, okay, so what can I do this in? I'd like to, I'll use something else. There we go. I'll use this palette. Okay. Ouais, bien au moins devant la caméra, non? Voilà. Ils vont se demander qu'est-ce qui se passe. Hein. Voilà. Là, ils sont irritants, hein, maintenant que tu as tout gâché. Ils étaient 14, ils sont tous partis. Putain, t'as fait peur à tout le monde. Voilà. Qu'est-ce que je veux dire, il y a Jalil qui va jouer demain après-midi, si tu veux passer jouer, l'accompagner. D'accord. Mais on commence de bonne heure, vers 15h. D'accord. Je te dis ça comme ça, hein. Lui, il allait jouer son petit bala ou je sais pas quoi. Oh, oh bah ça va, tu vas voir, tu vas être léger alors. Travail, pas content de toi respecter travail. Travail pour respecter américain, rien de respecter mondial. Oui, oui. Ah non, ah d'accord. Chez qui? Ah oui. 2 heures, mais c'est pas encore. 2 heures? On va faire venir? Tu prends du temps, toi. Ah, elle est si moche que ça. Attends, on est à l'antenne. J'ai oublié. Oui, il est beau. Très beau. À tout à l'heure. Ça marche. So that's always fun when friends stop by the studio. That's always a blast. Okay, so let's get back to the concentration. I want to shade the green. I don't want it to be too intense. The dark, I want it to be kind of subtle, even though when all the details are on top of it, you won't really see anything. So, where am I here? Having the old friends show up in the studio kind of threw me off here for a few seconds. They usually shy by, you know, they don't stop in and actually talk to me when they know that I'm streaming. But today, apparently they felt like movie stars. So, what am I going to do here? I need a paintbrush that is going to do what I want. I think maybe I'll use maybe I'll use this one. Anyways, I'm going to start off with using this one. I'm going to go back to camera number 1 here, and we can mix in the colors together. Okay, so I have the green here, the little black here. We're going to kind of mix it. I'm not going to need that much. I don't know why I made this much. I guess because I was a little perturbed by my visitor. So I'm just going to start off keeping a little green in reserve in case I go too dark too quickly. Like I often say on the camera, when there's a lot of contrast, it looks great. But in reality, you want the contrast to be kind of subtle. You know, you don't want it to stick out. And when I did the background, the blue background, right? When I did the blue background, here you can see it's a little bit lighter right here. And then right here, it's a, oops, no, you can't see that. Where can you see this? Over here, not even. Okay, the camera's, let me just move the camera over. There we go. So right here, you can see the blue is darker, but barely. And like I mentioned, when there's everything on top, well, you don't notice it at all. It's like a very subtle effect. And that's kind of what we want. We want there to be some sort of a contrast, of course, some sort of a shadowing. But at the same time, we do want it to be relatively discreet. Especially that we know that as paint dries, it gets darker. So we've got to take that into consideration. And right here, and I'm going to do a few tests, of course. Just take a little bit here. Now this looks pretty good to me, but I wouldn't be surprised if I go a little darker. But let's try this first. So I'm going to bring up the camera just right here. I'll zoom in for you a little bit right here. And where are we? We're about here. Okay, so I'm going to just try this. Yeah. Yep, that's plenty dark. No need to go any darker than that. And since I'm going to put some gold details on top of all this, of course, with the dark shadowing, it's going to look even nicer. So I'm going to pull the camera back. I'm going to move it up to that corner, which is where I usually start painting. Like that, I'm sure I don't put my hands in the paint and make smudges. And I'm just going to start up here. So am I in the way? Not too much, but I'll just move the camera over. With that, I'll feel better. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. It's not really painting, it's just tapping the shadowing And I love doing this. I must admit, this is one of my favorite parts of painting. Okay, there we go. Okay, very nice. Okay, well, I'm going to move the camera over just a little bit. And I'm also going to put some music on as we do this. So let's go ahead. There we go. Okay, so let's go back to this left-hand side here. Oops, I'll pull the camera back a little bit. Move up. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this back. I'm going to go grab my chair as well. And we'll tackle this lower corner. There you go. Maybe take a look at that. See what's going on the cameras. Okay, everything seems okay. Okay, let's move the chair over a whisker. There we go. To make a little more paint right here. So this is music by friends of mine who come by here quite often. You have Jacek who plays the guitar there, Diego on the violin, and Lucien who plays the sort of drum. Very discreet, I must say, but there nonetheless. So I noticed where I remade some new paint, it's not quite as dark. It doesn't quite match up. So I am going to go back on top of that and just add a little darker green. Okay, very good, very good. So I'm going to just stop the music for a few seconds here because we are at the end of our day of painting. Tomorrow, I guess, when everything is nice and dry, we'll start by putting these black edges inside and outside of the frame. And while that's drying, we'll put our first coat of yellow paint on top of the white sperms. And then we'll start tackling our frame, which is going to take a few days. What day are we today? We're Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday. I got 3 days till Friday. So yeah, we'll probably spend 3 days on this frame. I wouldn't be surprised. So, anyways, I also have my friend Jalil, who has a studio upstairs where he makes and fixes African instruments. That's going to come by tomorrow, and he's going to play the balafon and who knows, his kora, just to do a little live music while we're painting. And it's a good thing because tomorrow it's going to take a while. I mean, we're going to be on this for, like I say, at least a couple of days because I have a lot of intricate little details that I'm going to be putting on this frame. So anyways, so thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this session. I hope as well that you will join me tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And we'll continue working on this masterpiece before we ship it off to some awesome museum somewhere in that far distant dreamland of artists. You know, Anyways, I'm going to leave you like usual with my schedule, and I'm going to say ciao, mes amis.